Hey, my name's Dhruva. I'm one of the founders of Dialed In, alongside No Ghost and Bradford 25 City of Culture. We're putting together a project called Built by Sound, which is a mixed reality experience taking you through the 1980s and what it was like to be a South Asian growing up in Bradford specifically, how the daytimer scene of the 1980s arose from this city and reshaped British South Asian culture and eventually global South Asian culture. Come join me. This is the start of the entire experience where we basically show what it was like to grow up here, to be in this environment. In my opinion, it's almost too realistic because I get lots of trauma from being in here. The only thing we're missing really is the classic plastic cover on the cushion. In this part of the experience, Anita Rani is the narrator. Anita's voice kind of guides us through here, how you came to the UK with £2 in your pocket and had to make a name for yourself. If you come into this scene where physically it is quite empty, in your headset this entire physical space gets recreated into a photo studio where there's dozens and dozens of photographs. As you touch each one, you get to hear the story of the descendants, you get to understand why South Asians moved here, the kind of resistance they faced, the kind of racism, the kind of trauma that they encountered while trying to just make a name for themselves. Now with this portal, you're coming back into the 1980s where we start to discuss what community was like, what it was like to grow up in Bradford. We've been very specific with choosing the images on each of the walls to kind of be an extension of what you're seeing in the headset. We move on from there into scene 4, the reason why these communities banded together and came together. We used archive from the BBC to talk about the National Front. And in this scene, members of the National Front actually come out of the walls and surround you, and they actually be part of the experience. The portal switches on, scene 4 dissolves, and you're kind of gone into a place of release. Right now it looks like a very physical, empty space, but trust me when I say it's completely filled up with musical contraptions that allow you to make music with your peers. We hear from DJs, we hear from promoters, we hear from all of these people who basically tell us why this scene was so important, why they felt like they needed to make this happen. And slowly that disappears into being in a club in the 1980s. Finally, we have a quote from Inder Goldfinger, which we end on, which says, "This was ours for the first time in a long time. It felt that we were here to stay," which really resonated with us and to this day still really resonates.